I'm your host, Kelly Morgan, indie author and indie publisher. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Welcome to today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. My name is Kelly Morgan. I am your host, and you know that it is Monday because if you've been with me, you know that every Monday I have guests. And today I have Dr. Samantha. She is a pharmacist, she is an author, she is a speaker, and she is here to share all of the good things that she has going on and just share her journey and share the platform. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Kelly. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. So tell us everything that you got going on. I know that you've got your anthology, you've got your coloring book, you've got your speaking. So let's just dive into it all.
All right. Well, first things first, I am a pharmacist, I'm a model, a motivational speaker, and I recently launched about 3 years ago the Model Speakers Academy. And so when you think of model, you may think of, oh, how I look on a runway. But no, I believe we all are models. We all are modeling something. And if you do not like what you are modeling to the world, then it's up to you to change it. So the model that I teach in my Speakers Academy is motivate, organize, deliver, engage, and lead. Because if you're a speaker, then you are a leader. And I've noticed it's funny, the three top fears in the world are spiders, death, and then guess what else? Public
Public
speaking.
speaking.
Exactly. And so I can't help individuals with the death and the spiders, but I can help them get confidence in public speaking. So I've made it my mission to be intentional with what I put out and to just increase my visibility because I don't want to be a best kept secret. I want to know or want others to know that there's hope, that you do not have to shrink and be paralyzed by your fear of speaking, that there are tips, there are things that you can do to get more confident and to let you know that no, the fear is not going to go away. I get nervous before I do any podcast, before I do any big talk, but I don't let that nervousness or that fear stop me. I let it get turned into excitement because I'm happy to share my message. So if you are sharing something that you know is going to change lives, better people, something that you want to get out there, then that should be a part of that motivation to not let that fear take over, but for you to stand up and to take over with that. So quickly, I have a confident start method that I've been sharing with others so that they can know that being able to speak is something very simple that you can start and use these steps today. Use these steps and become a great speaker. So the first one is ground. You want to take a deep breath, exhale, and then you want to make sure your posture is fixed. And if you're standing up, you want to make sure you're standing up straight,
Wait, I'm gonna
shoulders.
I'm gonna get with you on this one. Hold on. You said sit straight and
Yes, and
take
it's
a
almost
deep
like
breath.
Wonder Woman, but without the arms. So you know how Wonder Woman stands, her chest is up, her
Gotcha.
back is, straight, her shoulders are back, and she is ready to take on the world. Her feet are planted. So when you do that positioning after taking that breath, you're telling your body that I'm in control. I can do this. And so that signals right there for all those nerves to calm down because you're taking control of the situation. Then the
Okay.
next one is you want to open. And that means you want to open with a strong, clear statement introducing yourself. You're not apologizing, you're not over explaining, but I'm going to do a great example or a quick example. Hello, I am Samantha DeLoach, and I help individuals have more confidence with speaking, period. So every person should practice and know a one line statement that they can say that introduces themselves and what they do. And it's kind of similar to the elevator pitch, but that one, of course, maybe about a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes, just enough to ride an elevator, what you would share with someone so that they would know enough about you to be intrigued or pique their interest to want to, stay in contact. And then the last part is the C, connect. So how do we normally connect? Through eye contact. So you want to, even if you're on Zoom, or if you're in person, you want to make sure that you give eye contact, that you're looking at that person at least for about 2 seconds before you connect with someone else. I know we've been taught that you should look in the back of the room, find the clock, find a wall, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to act like you're talking over the individual's heads. You want to make sure that you're giving an eye contact with people so they can feel like you're having a conversation with them and not that you're performing. And so you also want to share things to make you relatable. That's like sharing a story, something funny, about yourself, something that'll pique interest, maybe give a stat, a quote, or make a bold statement. I can say that all pharmacists are intelligent, in fact, more intelligent than medical doctors. That's going to make people like, wow, because I think doctors are smarter. And especially if you have doctors in the audience, they're going to be like, well, who does she think she is saying that pharmacists are smarter? But that's a way to start and be relatable and break the ice. So if you use that confident start method, GOC, ground, open, connect, that's going to help you start any speech or conversation. So that's something that I wanted to share quickly.
So that, speaking, public speaking is something that I think that most authors don't think about when they
Right.
write their book, right? But the the cold hard fact is that if you write the book, if you want people to read it, you're going to have to market, you're going to have to be willing to speak about it, right? To many, many
Absolutely.
audiences. So, what tips can you give people on the actual speaking? Because I think some people just speak and speak and speak and feel like they have to fill the air with words. But I have learned
Right.
over time, just in me speaking, that it's okay to pause. It's okay to
Yes.
take a drink of water. It's
Mhm.
okay to just be silent for a moment. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
But people get nervous in those silences. What can we do to
Right.
overcome that urge to speak?
Well, one, you can never be over prepared. I always say, have your notes, have your information, know what you want to talk about. I'll also say, know your audience. Because if I'm talking to a bunch of 5 year olds, it's going to be a whole lot different than how I would talk to some teenagers versus how I talk to your everyday person versus your actual professional. So, know your audience so you can tailor your message to them. And then be okay with those pauses. Be okay with asking questions and getting your audience involved. Because to me, that takes the heat off of you when you get that audience engagement, that interaction. But the biggest thing is to practice. Know your information, even record yourself practicing. Nowadays, we have smartphones. People tend to have them. So use it instead of scrolling. Take a video of yourself while you're speaking and say it out loud. Say it like you're actually going to do it. And find, maybe if you're an author, let me find my favorite part of the book, or let me find a character that I can talk about that I can tell them to look forward. Like, ooh, that Jamila in this book, she is a handful. You're not going to believe what she does in chapter 6, but I'm not going to tell you. You got to read it yourself. And then you could even read a little bit about your book. People think that you only can read to children. That's not true. A lot of individuals go to book signings or book releases and they like to hear the author read those words and even tell them, what were your thoughts when you create that character, or what was the inspiration for writing this book? And so that lets the people get inside the story, make them feel like, they are part of it. And then they'll now want to read and look for the things that you mentioned in that book signing or that actual presentation of your book. So it's very, very important as an author for you to share your book and to even autograph it. Make sure you do book signings. I know it may seem a little tedious, but make sure you sign in the book and thanking the person for purchasing it. And then also, be hopeful. You don't know. That book could very well get turned into a movie. So many great books have been turned into movies, and people always say, and I say it too, I like the book better than the movie. Why? Because you can't replace all of those details and all that intention, but people do their best to try to, recreate it. So that would be the advice that I would give to an author.
Fantastic. So if an author is thinking, you know what, Samantha, this sounds great. How do I connect with you? How do I find you? How do I sign up?
Well, perfect. Yes, I didn't give much details, but my anthology is called the Own Your Voice Anthology, and I'm currently looking for authors. I would like individuals to be able to contribute a chapter to the book. So that's anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 words. And I want you to share your story of how you have overcome something, how you owned your voice, how you shared your message. And that can be in your personal life, it can be in your business, entrepreneurship, whatever journey you want to share, but make sure that it's a story of victory. You don't want to just take us on all the lows, but make sure you leave the reader on a high. So that's what I'm currently looking for, individuals who want to be an author or co-author in my anthology for Own Your Voices. And I plan on having everyone secured by the end of March 31st. 2026, and then we'll go through a process of writing the book together. For individuals who may see this and say, I've never written a book, I've always wanted to but didn't know where to begin, this could be your introduction into becoming a full-blown author. And let's say you are an author. I've written 10 books. Why would I want to be a part of her anthology? Well, have you ever written about owning your voice, sharing your story, your journey on how you became an author? The book could use that. So you don't have to be a brand new writer. You can be a seasoned writer and still contribute to this anthology. And the conclusion of it and the actual production of the book will take place in this June 2026. And I want to offer all the authors to come in and do a sit down conversation with me in front of the audience where you actually share your inspiration for the chapter. I'll ask you a few questions as well as give you an opportunity to read a segment of the book and then do a book signing afterwards. So individuals can literally have you sign their chapter. And there's even options for you to have your own exclusive cover. So that's something I'm very proud of that I'm looking for people currently right now to be a part of, and to have individuals join my Speakers Academy. If you need someone to help you get ready for that book moment or to help you coach you on interviews, podcasts, whatever the case is, I can work with you one-on-one to help you share your story, to put your best foot forward, and so that you can share your voice and not allow the fear to stop you. And so I'm willing to work with groups as well as individuals. And I've also, if you're in the Charlotte area, Charlotte, North Carolina, I've begun a few activities. I've recently had a pizza and public speaking event. And in this March 30th, I'm having charcuterie and conversation. And in April, I'm having pasta and public speaking. That's right. I feed you and give you tips on how to become a better speaker. It's a low pressure environment. We're all friends, family. There's no criticism, nothing like that. Only ways to improve you as a speaker. And it's a great way to network and get involved and get in front of audiences that you may not be involved with prior to meeting with me. So I have all that going on. I know I said a lot, but you can find all this information, the anthology, my different monthly events, as well as how to have me as your coach on speakwithdrsam.com. So that's SPEAKDR, excuse me, WITHDRSAM. So speak with Dr. Sam, SPAKWITHDRSAM.com. That's all my information. It has all my social media attached to that website. So you can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all of it.
And all the links too will be, the link will be in the podcast description. So let me just do my laundry list of things before I let you go. So if you guys are interested in sharing this platform with me, like Dr. Samantha, it's really easy. Go to the website, go to a Be a Guest tab, and boom, you're a guest. I promise you, it's literally that easy. If you are on your writing journey, I have a free guide on my website. It's called So You Want to Write a Book. Go get it. Go download it. It's a flip book and it's a PDF. If you're interested in supporting me as an author, I have 2 books out there, Wait for It and You Sound White. Wait for It's also an audio book. You Sound White they're both print. You can get them from me. I'll sign them. I've got some goodies, but you know what? No pressure. You can get them wherever good books are sold. Do you? And then lastly, if you are an author and you're looking for visibility, I just launched TrustBridge. That is my curated introduction service. I will introduce you to my directory of curated podcasts, book clubs, and bookstores and get you the visibility outside of the algorithm. Go to my website, go to TrustBridge Author Services for all the information and all the details. And one more thing, y'all. Don't forget, we do have a book club. It's called the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. We only support indie authors. And my goal for 2026 is to grow this book club as big as I can get it because we only support indie authors. So your support of the book club supports an indie author. Go to the website, all the information is there. So Dr. Samantha, I just have one question for you because I always come across people who are, really trying to step outside of their comfort zone and like maybe get that visibility that we've been talking about and maybe do some public speaking, right? So what would you say is the best way to maybe dip your toe into the public speaking realm? Is it getting up in front of an audience? Is it a podcast? Is it going on like a radio show? Like, how do I do that? What's the best way for me to kind of ease my way into this? Because I've never done it before.
Well, I have really two good ways to get started. First thing is whenever there's an opportunity for you to speak up, do it. I feel like a lot of times we hold back and we don't want to lean in, but the things that frighten us are the things that need our attention. So, any opportunity someone says, would anybody have any thoughts on this at work, home, church? Raise your hand, share your opinion because your voice matters. And then I would always say start small. So that means if there's an opportunity at your church to speak, at work to do a presentation, or even at a networking event, try to get involved. And even if it's just going up to someone, shaking their hand and introducing yourself, make it your business to meet 5 new people at a networking event. But the only way to get better at speaking is to do it. So you need to take any opportunity to talk, respond, but start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start in front of small audiences, like I said, at work, at home, at church. Even for the holidays, if they need a prayer, then offer to do the prayer. Anything where you can have your voice being the one shared and everyone else is listening is going to help you get your feet wet with public speaking. And once you get comfortable there, then yes, of course, try doing podcasts, try and doing small things where it's just you and someone else talking. And even if it gets shared to many others afterwards, try to start having those conversations where you're being recorded so that you can improve your skills.